Welcome to yoga. I'm Liza. If you've been sitting a lot, you may be experiencing some pain in the neck, the shoulders, the back, the hips. So, when we sit a lot, it could lead to imbalances that could create strain and pain. So, this yoga practice is designed to undo some of those habits to help us to feel better in our bodies. So, to undo those effects of sitting, we'll start by leaving a sitting position and coming to standing. So make your way to a standing position, creating space around yourself, bringing out your yoga mat if you've got one, silencing your electronics, and preparing to make some time to take care of yourself. So coming to a standing position, taking off your shoes and socks if you like, standing tall. Breathe in and out through your nose. And we'll start by loosening the shoulders. So beginning on your inhalation, bring the shoulders forward, up, and then as you exhale, draw the shoulders back and around. Moving at your own pace, faster or slower as you like. And as you inhale and bring the shoulders forward, creating space between the shoulder blades and then drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Easing away any tension or tightness you may be holding in the shoulders and the upper back. And rolling the shoulders twice more. And then releasing the arms. On your next inhalation, extend the arms out to the sides and then overhead. Keep standing tall, relax the shoulders down, bringing the chin parallel to the floor as you lengthen through the head and the neck. And now moving into some side stretches to loosen up the spine. So bending into one knee as you reach that arm up and overhead, and then moving to the other side. So alternating as you lengthen one side and then the other, reaching one hand up in the air, and then alternating. Keep breathing naturally in and out through the nose, moving without any force or strain. And reaching once more to each side. And coming to stillness with the arms reaching overhead, shoulders drawing down away from the ears, reaching long through the fingertips overhead. And as you next exhale, slowly begin to lower the arms down, pausing at shoulder height, turning the palms to face the floor, and release the arms down by your sides. Give the arms and hands a little shake. And next we'll move into a twisting motion for the spine. So stepping the feet a little bit wider than hips width apart, soft knees, and begin with a small twist with just the upper body tapping the opposite shoulder with your hand. And you could keep the head facing straight ahead if that feels better, or you could allow the head and neck to turn from side to side. And you could keep the movement small, or if you'd like to expand, give a little bend to the knees, making the movements larger. And as you swing the torso to one side, bringing the opposite heel off the floor. And you can allow the arms to swing from side to side. And again, finding your own pace here, moving slower or faster. And if you feel at all lightheaded, feel free to keep the movement really small. And gradually making the movements a little bit slower and a little bit smaller. And gradually making your way back to stillness. Give a little shake to one leg and then the other. So hopefully you feel a little bit warmer and looser. And next we'll move into a standing side stretch. So bringing the hands to the hips and stepping your right foot behind the left, crossing at the ankle. Planting your feet, finding stability. If you're feeling really wobbly with the feet crossed, it's fine to keep the feet side by side. Hands are on the hips. Really ground into the feet. Lengthen evenly through the lower back and the abdomen. Relax the shoulders, standing tall. And now release your right arm. And as you next inhale, slowly bring the right arm out to the side and overhead, coming into a gentle side stretch. Pressing the right hip out to the side and just slightly forward. Keep lengthening through both sides of the torso. Chest is lifted, shoulders moving down the back. Keeping your head and neck in line with the spine. And it's fine to stay right here. If it's comfortable for you, you have the option to take hold of the wrist overhead. So see what feels right. And no need to stretch as far as you possibly can, but just come into a comfortable place where you could hold without any strain. Keeping the breath flowing in and out through the nose. So sitting a lot could lead to imbalances in the pelvis. So you may notice one hip may seem a little bit higher than the other. One leg may feel like it's longer and the other shorter. So some of the movements such as this stretch will help to bring the pelvis back into balance. So keep breathing, keep lengthening. And holding here for one more deep full breath. And now press into the feet, pull the navel towards the spine and inhale as you slowly lift back to center. Stepping the feet together and slowly lowering the arm or both arms down. Relax the arms by your sides, close the eyes or gaze softly and just check in to notice how one side of the torso feels in relation to the other. And allow the eyes to open if you've closed them, and prepare now for the opposite side. Bringing the hands to the hips, standing tall, relax the shoulders, and now step your left foot behind the right. Grounding yourself here, or keeping the feet side by side. So pressing down through the feet. Engage the legs. Perhaps drawing the thighs towards one another, tucking the tailbone down. Create a little space between the rib cage and the pelvis. Broaden through the chest and move the shoulders down and back. And now releasing your left arm. And inhale as you extend that arm out to the side and overhead. And stretching the torso gently over to your right side. And pressing the left hip out to the side and slightly forward. Keep lengthening through both sides of the torso. And just stretching over gently to create a comfortable sensation. Coming to a place where you could hold and find stability. Allow your mind to notice where you feel the sensations of the stretch in your body. And sending your breath to those spaces. Like you could take hold of the wrist overhead, or it's fine to keep the hand on the hip. Choose what feels right for you. And it's always fine to come in and out of the stretch if you need to release a little bit earlier. Breathe. One more full breath here. And now press into the feet, pull the navel towards the spine, and inhale as you slowly lift the torso back to center. Stepping the feet together, side by side if they're not there already. And then slowly as you exhale, release the arms down. Relax the arms by your sides. Close the eyes or gaze softly. Again, check in. Notice what you're feeling in the chest and shoulders, torso, hips. Welcome and receive all sensations. Now we'll prepare to come into a variation of warrior pose to further help balance the pelvis, and we'll also open up the chest. So come to stand in the front of your space, standing tall with the feet hips width apart, bringing the hands to the hips. And just rock a little bit forward, back and forth from the balls to the heels of the feet, feeling your connection to the earth. And then lowering the feet down, planting the feet, creating stability here. We'll prepare to step the right foot back. So draw a breath in. And as you exhale, step the right foot back, bending deeply into the left knee. So you don't have to go back very far. You could keep the stance short for more stability, or you could draw the back foot closer to the rear of the mat for a deeper stretch as you bend deeply into the front knee. And start by bending both knees and square the hips forward. So the right hip comes slightly forward, left hip slightly back. Lengthening evenly through the abdomen and the lower back, drawing the tailbone down. So you have a natural curve in the back without overarching. And then press the thighs towards one another for stability. Front knee is in line with the ankle. And now straightening the back leg, pressing out through the heel, keeping the heel lifted so you're on the ball of the back foot. Relax the shoulders down. Lengthen through the head and the neck. Breathe deeply in and out through your nose. And now releasing the arms down. And inhaling, lifting the arms to the side, bending at the elbows. So the elbows are lower than the shoulders, palms are facing forward. Gently opening through the chest. And keeping the shoulders relaxed. When we're sitting or using electronic screens, we often have a tendency to round through the back and keep the head in a forward position. So this position of cactus arms opening up through the chest helps to reverse that effect. It helps to bring the head and neck back in line with the spine. Alleviate tension in the upper back and shoulders, and opening and stretching the fibers of the chest muscles. Keep breathing here. One more breath, and then exhale, release the hands down to the hips and step the back foot forward. And pause here for a moment to receive the sensations. Noticing again how one leg and hip feel in comparison to the other. And now we'll repeat this posture on the opposite side. So coming to stand at the front of your mat once again, relaxing the shoulders, standing tall. Feet are hip width apart. Draw a breath in, and then as you exhale, stepping your left foot back, being sure to keep the feet hip width apart, toes, knees, and hips facing forward. So finding your stance, either taking a small step back or perhaps a wider step. And begin with both knees bent. And focus on aligning the pelvis here. So drawing the tailbone down, lengthening through the abdomen and the lower back. Squaring the hips forward. Drawing the thighs towards one another. And now straightening the back leg, pressing out through the heel, keeping the heel lifted. Bending deeply into the front knee, keeping that knee in line with the ankle. Relax the shoulders, lengthen through your spine. Lengthen through the crown of the head and bring the chin parallel to the earth. Gazing straight ahead of you. Smooth, easy breath in and out through the nose. And And now we'll come into another variation with the arms. So release the arms by your sides. And here you have the option to clasp opposite elbows behind the back if that's comfortable. If it's accessible, you could clasp the hands together behind the back, straightening the arms, pressing the hands down towards the floor and away from you. And if neither of those options are comfortable for you, another choice is to reach the arms back. Just straight arms reaching down, reaching long through the fingertips. Choose which option feels best for you, either holding the elbows, arms straight behind you, or clasping the hands together. So all of these options will, again, help to open up the muscles of the chest, relax the shoulders and the upper back. Keep breathing naturally. And know that you're always welcome to release the pose a little bit earlier, take a rest and come back. Or you could try varying the positions of the arms if holding them in one position for too long becomes uncomfortable. And holding here for one more full deep breath. And releasing whatever variation the arms are in, returning the hands to the hips. And as you exhale, stepping the back foot forward. And releasing, standing tall with the feet hips width apart. Relax the arms by your sides. Close the eyes or gaze softly. And again, check in to notice and receive. See if you could sense any changes in your posture as a result of these stretches and postures. Notice where perhaps you may feel more spaciousness, ease. Maybe noticing feelings of warmth, aliveness. Notice and receive whatever it is that you're feeling. And from here, we'll make our way onto the floor, coming onto our backs. So bringing the hands onto the hips, stepping the feet a comfortable distance apart. Lengthen through the spine, and then as you exhale, slowly begin to hinge forward, keeping the knees soft, and come forward halfway until the spine is parallel to the floor. Pause here. Then as you exhale, slide the hands down the legs, bending to the knees. So you could bring the hands to the mat and then step one knee back and then the other, coming into a table position. Loosen up the spine a little bit more here. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide, soft bend in the elbows. Feet and knees are hips width apart. And as you inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly broad through the chest, looking upward, coming into dog. And then as you exhale, draw the tailbone under, rounding the spine into cat. Move back and forth here for a few breaths. Moving at your own pace, inhaling as you arch into dog, and exhaling as you round into cat. And once more in both directions, and come back to neutral. So we'll come down onto our bellies into a gentle back bend here. So we'll begin by moving into puppy, sliding the arms forward, lowering the chest towards the mat and lifting the hips. So if it's comfortable, you might want to bring the forehead to the mat, or you could keep the head lifted. And now lower the elbows down, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. And now straightening the legs and lowering the hips down to the mat. Feet are close together, tops of the feet are resting on the floor. Press out through the feet, activate the legs, press the tailbone, press the pubic bone down into the floor. Moving the belly gently towards the spine. So the elbows should be right underneath the shoulders, resting on the palms of the hands. As you inhale, broaden through the chest, move the shoulders down the back, and press the elbows slightly closer towards the hips to help open up the chest. And gaze towards the floor ahead of you gaze to the floor ahead of you, keeping the back of the neck long. The Sphinx pose is a good posture to help alleviate pain in the lower back, help to open up the chest, and again, help to correct the misalignments that can happen when sitting too much. So keep breathing naturally in and out through the nose. You could close the eyes if that would feel comfortable, or you could keep the gaze soft. Keep breathing. And hold here for one more full deep breath. And now exhaling very slowly, lowering down, taking your time. Place one hand on top of the other to rest the forehead on the hands. Relax the legs. And now bending the knees so that the toes are up in the air. And come into a windshield wiper motion, dropping the feet from side to side to release the lower back. If you like, you could try circling the feet or dropping both feet from side to side in the same direction, or you could bring the feet in opposite directions. You could just play with this movement and see what feels good in your body. And now releasing the legs, letting go of that movement. And now extending one arm overhead, bring the other arm next to the chest with the elbow bent, and roll yourself over onto your back. It's coming to lie on your back with the knees bent and the feet on the floor. And here we'll come into final posture to help balance out the hips and the pelvis, coming into figure 4 stretch. So see if you can bring a little bit more of the upper back and shoulders in contact with the floor, keeping the chin tucked slightly to lengthen through the back of the neck. Just take a moment here to sense the parts of your body that are in contact with the mat. Feeling that sense of stability, receiving the support from the earth beneath you. And now lifting your right foot off the floor and placing the outside of the right ankle above the left knee. So you have the option to stay right here in this version, keeping the hands by your sides, palms to the floor. If you'd like to go a little further in the stretch, you could bring the hands to take hold of the back of the left thigh, lifting the left foot off the floor. So be sure to keep the upper back and the head glued to your floor. And if it's uncomfortable to take hold of the leg, it's fine to keep the foot on the floor. You can close the eyes if you like, or gaze very softly. Breathe in and out through the nose. And as you next inhale, gently press the right knee further away from you, just a tiny movement. And then as you exhale, hug the left knee in a little bit closer. Again, inhale, pressing the right knee slightly away from you. Exhale, hug the left leg in closer. And once more, inhaling, press. Exhale, draw the legs in closer. Continue to hold here, breathing deeply and slowly. Again, notice where you're feeling the sensations of the stretch. And only stretching to the point of comfort without strain. So if you're feeling discomfort, see where you could back off a little bit, finding more ease. And hold here for one more full and deep breath. And now as you exhale, if the foot is off the floor, slowly lowering that foot back down. Release the hands by your sides if they're not there already, and release the right foot to the floor. And draw the right knees together to touch to allow the legs to relax. Again, scanning the body, especially the pelvis and the legs, receiving and noticing how one side feels in comparison to the other. And now bringing the feet and knees hips width apart, preparing for the other side. So lifting the left knee off the floor, placing the outside of the left foot above your right knee. And you might want to keep the hands resting on the floor. Or if it's comfortable, taking hold of the back of your right thigh. Again, keeping the upper back and shoulders on the mat. Keep the back of the neck long. And working with the breath here, coming into that isometric stretch. As you next inhale, pressing the left knee away from you, just a tiny bit. And then as you exhale, hugging the right thigh in a little bit closer. Again, inhaling, pressing the knee away. Exhale, hugging the right leg in closer. So if you're keeping the foot on the floor, you could just focus on pressing the left knee away from you without drawing the right leg in towards the chest. And again, inhaling, press. And exhaling, draw the legs in. Keep breathing and see if you can create a little more ease in the body. Feel free to make any adjustments. Or you can always back off or release the stretch earlier if you need to. So hopefully you can adjust the stretch to make it gentle where you could comfortably hold. And continue to hold for one more full and deep breath. And now preparing to exhaling. If you've lifted the foot off the floor, slowly lowering it back down. And uncrossing, releasing the left foot to the floor, drawing the knees together to touch and resting the hands on the belly. Closing the eyes if you like, taking a few full deep breaths here, feeling the belly expand as you inhale. Belly moves towards the spine as you exhale. Taking a couple more full deep breaths here, taking a moment to relax and integrate. And releasing here, drawing both knees into the chest and rolling over onto one side. And bringing the hands to the mat, lifting your way up to table. And from table, we'll come to standing. Bringing the feet to the floor, soften the knees, bring the hands to the hips. Press into the feet, navel to spine. Inhale as you slowly make your way up to standing. Coming to stand tall, relaxing the arms by your sides. Close the eyes or gaze softly. Again, just check in and notice if anything has shifted in your posture. Noticing these sensations in the body, receiving the benefits of your practice. So I encourage you to bring some of these stretches and movements into your day. So anytime you find yourself sitting for a while, see if you could stand up, move, try one of these stretches, a side stretch, a warrior pose, loosen up the shoulders, anything to help keep the body in balance. Now bringing the hands to prayer position in front of the heart, closing the eyes. Again, checking in once more. I invite you to continue to take good care of yourself as you ease into your day. Om Shanti, peace. May the peace in our hearts bring peace into the world. Softly allow the eyes to open, lifting the gaze. Namaste. I honor the light in you. Thank you for joining me. You're welcome to find my classes on Zoom Wednesday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30, or you could catch my other videos on YouTube. Have a great day.